Namaste everyone. I am Dhananjay Regmi and today we are going to start a travel talk Nepal, and this is the first episode, and we are going to we have invited one of our guests from Hokkaido University, Professor Teji Watanabe. Professor, welcome to this travel talk program.
Thank you very much.
Well, can you just introduce yourself, who you are, how long, where you have been working, what sort of research you were involved in, and what makes you to work in Nepal? So can you briefly give your introduction?
Okay, yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, my name is Teji Watanabe from Hokkaido University. Actually, I retired from the university in March this year. When I was a PhD student, it was 1987, I came to Nepal for the first time. Since then, for 35 years, I've been studying and working of the Himalaya, especially Nepal Himalaya. First, I came to Nepal to conduct PhD research. At that time, my supervisor, Professor Jack Ives, at the University of Colorado at that time, and he moved to University of California, Davis. He suggested me to do some research in the Nepal Himalaya. So that was my initial involvement and study about the Himalaya. I'm a geographer. At that time, I belonged to the geography department, and I started to work on high Himalayan landscape change study. So it involved a variety of issues, including glacial lake development, and sustainable societies, yaku grazing issues, and so on and so on. So I visited Lanta National Park and then Sakalmata National Park, and I completed the PhD thesis research, and I joined Hokkaido University as an associate professor, assistant professor, sorry. Then my interest here in the Nepal Himalaya was broadened. Now I'm interested in more like a relationship between the local people and natural resource, management and also usage of the natural resources. So it is kind of ecotourism and also geotourism, because Nepal is a very geologically active country, like Japan, my country. So the varieties of type of tourism can be developed here in Nepal. So that's one of the things that I'm interested in right now. So something like that. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Professor, I was looking at the net, and I found that you have been working on the number of countries in the world, like not only in Nepal, but you had a very wide experience of working in the Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, Pakistan, Peru, Brazil, USA, Swiss Alps, and even in the Australia, New Zealand, and obviously in Japan. So, and working in Nepal, what difference you find? How easy to work in Nepal, to do some kind of research in Nepal? Is it much easier, or in other countries it is much favorable? I don't know, but because I am also working in the mountains as a researcher, so but I don't have that much experience. I had experience of working in some of the countries, no doubt, but I really want to know what's your experience working in, which country gives the most favorable environment to work in, to conduct the research.
Every country has different rules and laws, of course. And if you if you want to conduct research in national parks and other types of protected areas, you have to follow the guidelines and law, of course. And essentially, it's not so easy to conduct research in protected areas such as national parks. But from my experience, probably Switzerland was the easiest for me. I mean, most comfortable. Like countries in the Pamirs, like Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan, you have to follow many laws and guidelines. Of course, Nepal also. And so it's easy. It's not easy to say, you know, which country this country is most easy to work, but in the case of Nepal, yes, getting a research permit is a bit difficult. I mean, it takes long time. When I was a student, PhD student, I had to come to the department office. Even if I sent at that time email was not available. At that time I had to use air mails, postal mail. I mean, even if I sent all documents, they didn't even open the envelope, and I had to go to the office. Otherwise, they don't trust, you know, if I actually conduct the research or not, right? And then after my arrival, I had to spend like 1 week, 2 weeks, even, you know, even 1 month to get a research permit. So it's a time consuming, and still now it's you know, lot of things to do. Especially now I use drone sometimes. When I use drone, I have to take 2 kinds of permit. It's time consuming, and essentially you have to apply in Nepali. But it's too much. So I ask local agencies to get help. But it takes time, and also it costs money to use drone in national park areas. I understand. They ask you know, permit. That's all right, but you know, it should be more you know, easily done in terms of time, and also in terms of money. For us, using a drone for research is completely different from using a drone for commercial filming, like making movies and so on, dramas to make money. Of course, they can spend a huge amount of money, but for researchers worldwide, we have a limited budget, right? So we cannot use big money for getting a research permit. I mean, flight permit. If the government continues to ask permit for international research team, it is a big disadvantage of the country of Nepal. Actually, we are not making money, right? And our result can be feedback to the country of Nepal. So actually the process and cost should be improved. I mean, they should reconsider to change the system, whole system, and you know, application process, and also the, you know, the cost for
Well, I
Yeah, like
really,
that.
really
Yeah.
appreciate that you raised this issue. Actually, I was also, sometimes I'm working with the number of the scientists, and they are also requesting us to, for the drone permit. And I realized that the policy that we have right now is really not favorable, and this is discouraging people to come to Nepal for the research work. It is because the drone itself, I think, cost around $1,500 to $2,000, and maybe now technology is improving and the cost is going down, but the permit itself is around, there are number of places from where the permit has to be taken, from the Ministry of Communication and from the Ministry of Home Ministry, Defense Ministry, and finally there is a national park who has to give the permission. And I think altogether we have to pay around $1,600 or $1,800 just for that, and on top of that they are appointing some liaison officers whose all the cost has to be bear, which is not good for Nepal. And I think whatever you have raised, I would like also want to tell the Nepal government that see the people who are running, who are in the government, please think it seriously. It is not for the filming purpose, it is for the research purpose. And this kind of data, whatever these researchers are collecting from the drone, they are using for especially for writing the research results, and these things can be submitted to instead of asking them or charging them more money, government can ask them to provide the raw copy of those all footages, which can be used for the promotion of the tourism in the future or for other purpose. So I think this is the very, very valid point that I really wanna thank you. You raised this question, and I wanna request government to rethink about it. This is not for the filming, this is for the research, and research is what Nepal really needed the most. And thanks, Professor. This is the very good thing that you have raised. And Professor, see, you have spent most of your time doing, in whichever country you are working mostly on the trail development, national park management, wildlife habitat management, or protecting them. So there are the number of policies or the number of research results you suggested in your results or in the conclusions you always, and many of the countries are implementing it. And I don't know, but in Nepal also you have submitted the report, but we haven't find that these research results are implemented in the policy. I really want to know, is it only the Nepal who is not implementing the research results in the policy level, or what happened in Japan? Because I don't know, you might not have reviewed in other countries, but I want to know, do Japan listen to the professor's research results? Do they implement it, or do they take it when they are forming the policies for the development country?
Yeah, in general, all over the world, we have very big gap between science researchers and the policy makers. Okay, still we have, and in international science communities, we are trying to change this, to fill this gap, actually. And in developed countries, now the situation is, I think, changing dramatically. In Japan, still we have gap. For example, I've been working in Daiseisan National Park in Hokkaido, northern part of Japan. It's a mountain national park, and we have a serious trail erosion caused by trekkers, hikers. We made a national park council. I mean, before the old type national park council had been composed of ministries, related to ministries and local administration. Okay, but now we researchers are also involved in task force meetings and so on. We suggest many things, and they started to listen to our our view. I mean, based on scientific data. Okay, with scientific data, with the evidence, they understand. Okay, we should follow what scientists say. So they are changing, and our relationships are also changing now. So we have serious problems in the money budget in Japan, and also staff members. I mean, national park managers. The number is very limited. So we are making a kind of partnership program, and within the framework of a partnership, researchers, national park rangers, and local communities, stakeholders, we are making a team, and we are trying to minimize the soil erosion issues, trail problem issues. But for that, national park authorities started to listen to our result.
Well, this is good. So I think for Nepal also, what we can learn is that there are so many research that were conducted in the Nepal Himalaya also. And if you look at the Khumbu, obviously the most studies were done in the Khumbu or in the Annapurna region in Langtang. So there were so many studies which are really giving us a number of suggestions which we never implemented in our policy level. So the policymakers, here is also one very good tip that though there is a gap throughout the world, in every part of the world, researchers are doing research, their result is one thing and the policymakers are not really implementing it, but Japan or some other countries already started to implement it. So this is the time that we should also think about that. We should give respect to all the research results given by the researchers, and we should start to implement it in our policy level. This is going to change the Nepal, and let's do that. This is one of the another suggestions. Thanks, Professor, what you have talk about this. Professor, I really want to know that because you not came only as a researcher. You come as a tourist as well, and as a tourist, as a researcher, obviously the way you look at the landscape, look at the lives of Nepali people in the mountains, that is completely different. Looking from not only from tourists come just to take a pictures and they are happy looking at their pictures in the background, or themselves and the beautiful mountains in the background, but for you, that is completely a different thing. As a researcher, I think you look those landscape in a completely different perspective. So, what do you think that how the mountains are changing? So much climate change things were coming. So issues, these climate change issues are there. People are saying that the glaciers are melting very fast. So many changes were happening, and since this is your more core area of your research, so what changes you have seen since you started to work in Nepal, and what do you think what Nepal can do, and to minimize the impact and so on? We have seen the number of the gloves activities in recent years. Only after 2010 after 2010 I was reviewing some of the I see that the intensity of the glacial outburst flood is increasing. So there are many changes that are happening. But as a researcher, what sort of changes you have experienced throughout this time, and what do you suggest about that?
Okay, glaciers are retreating. That's true, and glacial lakes are expanding. That's also true, but there are good things also. I think. I see, more green. More green means, forests are grown up, actually, and as far as as far as it is a protected area, like a national park, essentially forests are protected. So we see more green, more trees. Right, and also like a Sagarmatha National Park, I think we can see more, we can observe more wildlife now. So bad things and good things, we have both. So people emphasize always glacier melting and more dangerous and so on and so on. But we also have to think about a better improved part. And I talked about the policy issues, but of course in Nepal, only a tiny part, but successful thing is one of my American friends, Alton Bias. He has worked in Nepal, Sagarmatha for more than 30 years, longer than me. His achievement was reflected now as a policy changes, right? You know, it is only a tiny, small thing maybe, but you know, accumulation of such efforts is really important, right? And because of his efforts, of course, it is not only by his effort, but including his effort, forest recovery, forest grown up there is visible, right? You know, emphasize the good part as well, not only looking at the bad part like glove issues.
So, well, with the rise in temperature, because now we have a possibility of growing the vegetations in the little higher altitude as well. Obviously, the tree line is shifting up and up. So, I think if the people take some initiation and if they try to plant some trees there, then maybe we can increase the greenery part that attract the more and mammals also, which is a good part of that, and that attracts the tourists. This is a very nice thing that what you have raised. One more thing, what I realized that you are working mostly on the most of Kanchenjunga or in this Sagarmatha or in Langtang or in Annapurna, but I haven't seen you going and do research in the other places like the Dolpa, Upper Mustang and these areas. What was the reason? What stops you to go there, and or why you haven't taken much interest on those areas?
No. That's simply because of time and also money.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'd like to visit, many more places. Yeah. There are so many places.
Money is, you mean the money is the fee, the government fee, or the?
No. My personal, money research funds.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And another, there are some of the people when I was talking to them, they were saying that we really want to go to those high altitude, those areas like the upper Dolpa, Manang, upper Manang or the Mustang, upper Mustang. But the only thing that stopped them is the very high, entry permit fees, like $500 for a week or for 10 days or something like that. Where they have that kind of high fee, and the local people there are also again complaining about that. And when I was talking with the government authorities, they said that these are the restricted areas for several reasons. One of the reasons is we don't want to show it to the, it is geopolitically it is very much sensitive area. So we need to make much higher fees so that people not give priority to those areas. This is the one reason that but do you think at present, when every part of the globe is accessible through the satellites, you can have satellite images, you can even the Google Earth you can access in the millimeter level, and if you pay and buy the images, you can see anything, So at present context, it might be before 20 years, that might be a very sensitive areas, people could not. Now we have different bands in the satellite images with what you can study, even the temperature range, what the resources available, even identification of the resources is also available, So at this context, do you think that the Nepal should change this kind of a high fees so that they can, these areas where people are living and they are waiting for the tourists, so that we can increase the number of tourists there? What do you think? What's your suggestion?
Well, in a sense, yes, Nepali government should change the policy in a sense, but not 100%. I don't agree. Such a high entrance fee should be applied to the area where we should really conserve nature. Okay, but like as you said, geopolitical concern, then probably shouldn't be a main reason. So the government should change the policy if the reason is a geopolitical issue. But you have to also think about, you know, the importance in nature conservation, right? Then in such a place, such a certain place, yes, you know, keeping a very high entrance fee is a one way.
Thank you. One more question. Always the people asking me that you know, oh, now like the Annapurna circuit trek is like a Makkah Medina, or one of the most holiest place, or people have a Western people have a lifetime dream to go for the 22 days Annapurna round trek. And they were you know gathering money just to fulfill that dream. So people have different dream, but the adventure-loving people have that dream used to be in the past. And but in recent years, the government has constructed a number of roads, and a number of the trails were devastated. So what you have seen, because you are working since 1987 and till now, what changes were there, and how you take it personally? Is that in the name of the development that building roads and destroying those existing trails is a good idea, or how you take as an Japanese scholar, as an environmental lover, how do you think or how do you take this kind of the development that taken place in Nepal?
As you see in Annapurna areas, once vehicle road constructed, we have big number of tourists, visitors there. That's clear. Then what we lose is, of course, experience, trekkers' experience. Because if you go to Annapurna circuit, you can use, you know, most areas vehicles, right? Then if you want to trek, if you want to walk, you see many vehicles, and also dust. It's dusty, and you don't want to trek in such a conditions, right? So I really don't want to see the same situation in the future. And for example, in Sagarmatha, and also Kanchenjunga also, right? So now Sagarmatha area, the number of visitors is kind of restricted by small airplanes, right? So if the road is open and Sagarmatha, government should control the number of trekkers. In Annapurna, as many as trekkers, the number, I mean, the number of visitors is not controlled, right? The government accepts as many as trekkers, right? But in the case of Sagarmatha, the government should think about controlling the number. They should set up the maximum number. Otherwise, it will be a chaos. Yeah, and also now more Nepali trekkers are going, right? In Sagarmatha already we have, I don't know how many percent, but certain percent is Nepali tourists now, Nepali trekkers. And especially when the ground transportation is established, the number of Nepali visitors will be like this.
Go high.
Yeah.
So what you suggest? Shall we take the road up to the, because some people are saying let's build a road up to the Phagding, and somebody are saying that it is okay just up to the down, what it called, the Surke. Yeah. So I don't know, what do you, in your opinion, what do you think? Because you know the each and every part of this. So until up to what place we should construct the road, and from where we should make the people or the trekkers to start walking?
Surkey is fine, just fine.
is fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So taking a road above the Surkey is not good for the overall, ecosystem or the whole the economy or the local economies. So okay.
Yeah, that's right.
So this is also a very good news. See, I am not saying as an Dhananjay Rajmi's perception. It is I am talking with one of the professor who spent whole his life doing research in the Nepal Himalaya. So people who are advocating for taking the road up to the Namchi or up to the Phagding, please try to understand that Surkey is the last point that we should restrict the road. We should end our road, and from there we should focus on doing trekking up to the other places. So this is also a very good suggestion. So there are a number of things that we have learned from him, but at the last, Professor, I think we have talked a lot, but I really want to know, do you have something that from your long experience, do you want to say something about the Nepal, that what Nepal should do to increase the number of tourists in Nepal? Because in recent years the tourists, though there are the number of up and down, sometimes we have a different kind of a crisis, sometimes we have earthquake, sometimes we have this COVID obviously hits the whole world, but then afterward again we have some kind of, sometimes it's a revolution for 1 or 2 days. These kind of things are happening everywhere, but it strikes, these all impacting, and the Nepal is why I don't know. Number of such things happen in other countries, but that does not go so immediately globally. But even small things happen in Nepal. All the all the media they cover, international media they cover, and people thinks that it might not be safe. But so far, looking at our Nepalese people's attitude towards the foreigners, because we are very much welcoming them, and we give a very good respect to them. So, and we have never harmed, even during the emergency and Maoist insurgency also, we never treat anyone badly. So I think the people who have been to Nepal, they already know the hospitality culture, or the the people's behave towards the foreigners. So they might take it very easily, but for the people who for the first time they are planning to come to Nepal, they might have a little bit of kind of a confusion, shall I travel to Nepal or not? So in this thing, what you want to say, and another, anything that is left that you want to say to the Nepalese people, that how we should promote the tourism in Nepal, whatever you have, you want to conclude, please.
Well, actually, this can happen not only in Nepal, but also in many countries. Although the degree may be different, right? Of course, natural hazard and political disturbance and so on. Anything can happen in any countries, but at least in the case of Nepal, you have varieties of nature, culture, history, right? So you have big potential to develop tourism more. So far, I think many people want to go to high Nepal areas, right? Of course, you have low area destinations such as Lumbini and also Chitwan, right? But you have different landscapes from lower area to the higher areas. So you should think about the more diversified tourist flow. And for the tourist flow, you need a good service of transportation, right? So connecting different places, different altitudes, north and south, and also east and west, you may develop more destinations, attractive destinations. That's one thing that you have to think about. You should think about. Probably even Nepali people don't know where is the very, very attractive place, right?
Yeah.
So and for foreigners, many places, many issues are very, very new. Although for local people, it is normal, right? So you have to identify such an unexplored areas and treasures and so on, right? And now you can use SNS and so on to promote such undiscovered areas.
It seems that as per the professor's suggestion, I am very much agree that there are so many hidden places, unknown places in Nepal that were not known to the people outside the world. So I think there is a lot of the role that nowadays the TikTokers or the like the media people can play, or we can run some kind of a campaign where we say that explore the new areas, send the videos, or we can announce some award to them, and let's try to identify the new destinations, giving overall the explanation about that. And I think doing so we can explore more places and we can make a package and include them. And more importantly, what the professor is saying, that is without the development in the transportation, good connection, we cannot develop the tourism. Even we have good places, attractive places to show to the global community. So government need to improve the road as far as possible, as soon as possible, because we are facing this problem and the industry is also raising this voice for a long time. For 3-4 years our road is disturbed only, even to connect the Chitwan and Lumbini, which is very, very important. And even just to build a road from Kathmandu to Pokhara also, government took a long time, and now it is improving. But they are about to complete the Pokhara Mugling part, but again the Mugling Kathmandu road is again became one of the worst roads, so which needed to be improved as soon as possible. So there are so many things. So well, Professor, thank you for your time, and we will have more opportunities to talk in the future. And even though you are retired, but you are not tired, normally we say, and you are still active even after the retirement. You are in Nepal to think about the more research ideas and how to collaborate with the number of the universities. One thing I forgot to tell, Professor, so far I think maybe it is good to hear from you. How many Nepali students you have trained? Globally, I know you have trained more than 1,000 students, but how many students from Nepal alone you have given a different kind of degrees, and you have trained in when you as a professor?
For masters and PhD, I think around 15.
15, okay.
Yeah.
So see, one professor who visited in 1987 as a student, in his lifetime, throughout his career as a professor, he trained 15 Nepali students, and he made them one of the best scholars in the world, and who are serving in different part of the world. So see the contribution of one person. So each and every researcher today, or the one student even, is a very, very important for us. So attracting them, making them to love Nepal, or somehow if we can attract them, they are going to give a lot of contribution to Nepal. When they are training 15 students in Nepal, that means in between they are bringing thousands of dollars every year just for the research. And those students are also, maybe they are contributing more in the future. Jack Ives, who wrote the book, many of you might know that, the Himalayan Dilemma. So after his book, there was so much research, like the Ishimode also, I think was one of the result of that Himalayan Dilemma book. Once it started, people start to think about the Nepal, Himalaya, fragile ecosystem, and then these countries start thinking about, oh, Nepal need a kind of a center where we should do Himalayan research things, focus on the research and the issue mode started, I think. So somehow, so Jack Ives, who visited Nepal, he come up with it. Like the Tony Hagen also contributed many things. So there are so many scholars who really make Nepal to known to the global community or the world. So we need to respect all the researchers who are working in Nepal, and we need to make a much favorable environment for them. There are so many restrictions. Every time government come up with the new policies for the researchers, they say you cannot do this, you cannot collect the sample, you cannot do this and that things. Don't make so much restrictions. Ask them to do affiliation with the Nepali universities. Let them, let's make an environment to welcome them, collaborate them with the Nepalese university, so that they can teach the Nepalese student whatever they have learned, and they can also help to improve the university quality, labs quality. And slowly, if today we don't have those facilities to to get the result from the samples what they collected, slowly we can request them to establish more and more labs in Nepal, so that whatever the samples they are collecting for different kind of the research, those samples can be analyzed here, results can be produced here, and then these research paper can be published in different international journals. And once this research results comes, this should be given to the government authorities who are there for the policy formation or the policy making, and we should request them to read them carefully and make the policy accordingly. And thank you, Professor, for all your contribution and your love what you have shown to the Nepal. So today this is the first episode about the Travel Talk Nepal. And Travel Talk Nepal is a kind of a concept that comes to my mind, and I really want to continue talking with the more and more scholars in Nepal, or with the the tourists who have contributed, who have visited Nepal several times, and who really have contributed in the Nepalese economy or the tourism sector. Let's continue that. If you have any friends who wanna come on this Travel Talk episode and continue this talk, I am always looking forward to welcome them. And thank you all the cameramen and everyone, all the people who supported this, who helped me to organize this. Thank you very much. Thank you, Professor, and wish you all the best. And we are looking forward to welcome you, for coming 50 years. Let's work together. And if something that we can do, we are always feel very happy and humble. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.